Hi guys, welcome to Katie Divine Insights. My name is Kerry Ann. For those that's new on the channel, welcome. This is going to be like a recap, and then I'm going to do a deep dive in Lucinda's story, unfinished story, where I've completed the Heart and Soul Tarot with like investigations of spirit activity, right? I've combined the two tarots, so that I'm quite excited to do that because it's new. So, who is Lucinda? And I think I said her name right. I bet you I said it wrong. so, so, anyway, let me remind you. Me and my daughter stayed at a hotel in Lancaster, which was this Mercury Blackburn, hotel. And it's Dunkenhalgh, I think it's called. Okay, so we did a bit of a combination. Well, I did tarot. We did a bit of both ghost box and EMF work there the last time. We picked up. I feel like we picked up some EVPs there. It's very slight, so it may be. I mean, I'll let you viewers decide what you think on it. And then I done kind of a tarot reading. There was an element of like, because it was said at the time that her tragic thing was that she jumped um off a bridge, the river Heartbroken, right? And there's talks that in the hotel that she gets seen, especially around Christmas Eve and stuff. She's seen, people have seen her on her bed and stuff like that. I have got my notes there, so to briefly go through. um yeah, so I'm gonna go into a deep dive with her and like go into sort of like touch on her heart and soul a little bit, and briefly do a haunting investigation a bit more deeper into it than the story as such. We'll try and find out why Lucinda is haunting the place and what is it that she's trying to get her message across, or is it just like one of those like cycles that people go through it, when it's like a timeline thing. So it's not necessarily her, it's like a goat, they call it like a ghost type of thing, but rather than a person. But there was I swear someone said hello, and when I asked if can I do a deep dive, I swear I heard yes at the time. So, but again, it's all allegedly entertainment purposes anyway. So the goal really is to understand Lucinda better, and what why she experiences her experiences, her feelings, her motives, relationships, fears, old hurts that keeps her tied to the hotel. So it's more than just ghost hunting. Making it clear this is about giving Lucinda a voice. So we're trying to give Lucinda a voice with a story of a soul level. So grab a coffee, get comfy, get ready, and let's check the tarot out. And I've picked a couple of oracle cards, decks to help with this reading. This is the first time I've done this reading, guys. Right? So I've like coordinated it two together. So we have coordinated two elements together, but this is like the first time, so you're gonna have to bear with me. So, but we're gonna do a little prayer, and I'm gonna do an open heart prayer for famous people, as you can see. So this is represented with the heart and soul spread that I do, but I thought it'd be quite good to do for Lucinda as well. Divine source of wisdom, I call upon your guide light today for this reading. For Lucinda, ask that the message reveal bring profound clarity and insights in the true essence of the heart and soul beyond their story. Help us to understand the circumstances that shape their journey and illuminate the path forward with grace. I ask for support and protection for everyone watching and for the sacred space to be as we commence. And so it is. So Hopefully I'll remember to do the closing down one as well, because I get a terrible habit of doing that. But yeah, here we go. Right. So first thing we're going to look into is their story, connecting to a spirit and haunting investigation. So that's what, right. So we're going to look into her personal world, right? I am not going to do dowsing because I've done a lot of dowsing on the previous video and I think it would be a bit too much. So we're going to just stick to tarot and oracle cards, okay? So we're going to just draw from their personal experience. So Lucinda, from their personal experience, how did they see the world within themselves, okay? So how did they see the world within themselves? So we're going to have a look. How did they see the world? Right, yeah. How did they see the world? So how did they see the world? Sorry about that, I was just putting the timestamps in, so it seems to be a bit later. Okay, so how did they see the world? So we've got the Eight of Cups. So there was a lot of despair with her and her personal experiences. So I feel she wasn't happy in the place that she was at the time. I feel like, because Eight of Cups is all about walking away. There was illusions around her life that was really unclear to her. I feel she felt disconnected as well. There was like a disconnection to it. So I feel like, as you can see with the card, it's like they're floating around. So I feel like it was just like she was just floating, going through the emotions of it. There was an element of hope that things would change, but I feel that she was like, her personal experiences was that she felt let down. I'm not seeing betrayal right now, but this take it thing, let down. Look at that, we've got the World card that's come up, so we feel like we let down. She wanted something more than where she was at this point. So I think I do wonder if Lucinda wanted to travel or explore the world a little bit. She wanted to get out of the environment she was in. She wasn't happy where she was. That's how I feel here. The Knight of Cups. Yeah, she just wanted. Also, she was very driven by love and opportunities around love. So I feel she wanted to travel the world with the thing. So she wasn't happy in the place that she was. I don't feel, right? And I feel she wanted something more. There was illusions going on in her mindset. She wanted to do traveling, but she wanted to do it as a partnership here as well. So I think Lucinda, she had quite a curious nature about her, and she liked to investigate. I feel like she liked to investigate and take these opportunities. I think it enlightened her soul as well. That's the impression I've got with Lucinda with it. So their daily life environment, which I feel she's disconnected to. yeah, she wanted something more. She was a hard worker. I see her as a hard worker. She thrived on building up. So I feel she was very much hands-on person. We got the Eight of Pentacles, which is all about like putting the hard work in. So I feel like for her, her daily environment is that she put a lot of effort and work into her projects or whatever, her job, her, I don't even know what she did as a worker, but yeah, she did put, she had intentions there. Okay, look, then we got the moon card, but I still think she just wanted more than what she had. Look, yeah, look, she's coming up as the queen of wands. So someone who could balance, had the capability to balance things. um so this person, Lucinda, she was very a creative spirit. And you got to think, from that day and age, women weren't allowed to do certain things, that a man come done. But I feel like she had a very uplifting spirit, and she was very curious with the world. And to me, she was a bit of an investigator, So, you know, her emotions did take over a little bit. So I think she got a bit down on herself. And that's, that's how I see that her personal experience is I worked really hard. I tried to get, I wanted to do more in life, and I was trying to build that future up. But, and it took a lot of great deal effort, and and I took the opportunities when they come. um and that's how I feel she's sort of saying here. Her inner being, her personal truths. Let's have a look at her inner being and personal truths. Oh, two cards fall that out. See, very driven to the fire energy, which we got the Ace of Wands. Yeah, so she, like I said, that creative, emotional body. So she she had a lot of ideas, about idealistic ideas, on how she wanted to change the world. So I feel like she had a presence about her. Very intelligent. She's coming across as a very intelligent lady here, with with a force to be reckoned for. So she was willing to put the effort in, willing to do the work, and she strived at that. Maybe can be sometimes a bit pushy sometimes, especially in that day and age, and maybe that would have got her into a bit of trouble. Okay, um, but when she wanted something, she would connect to it and she would work hard at it. So her inner compass and stuff was that she was quite passionate, forceful person who loved to connect and communicate. So I think Lucinda would love all this kind of stuff herself. Not saying that she would do it, but I'm just saying she was just like a curious. I like the word curious kitten. She was a curious kitten, So she would like to investigate, and she'd be fascinated by learning from the experience. So that was her personal truth in herself, or how she would motivate herself. Her uplifting. If she Yeah, she's just like, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, is somewhat, although she was very feminine, I think she had like a tomboyish approach, and I'm seeing like a brown suit, like, I think she would be happy. She would be one of those like flying in the airplanes. I know that wasn't at that time, but I think because she was an explorer, for me. So I think she was in the wrong timeline, to be honest, for what she could have achieved in her life. So that's how I would interpretate that. Um, which is it's lovely to sort of like see that high spirited person. and what brought them happiness and that. So she was an investigator. She was curious about life. So we're going to look into section 2. So section 2 would be the world around them and the influences. So I'm going to probably take that and put it back in. So the world around, so section 2, their relationships to their friends. So we're going to have a look into friends first. You know, people that was around me while I'm shuffling the cards. I just get this feeling that she may have had a couple of like 1 or 2 friends. I think she got on better with males than she did females. And I don't feel she had I don't feel she had close friends, but let's see what the card said. The star. Yeah, I don't feel she branched out enough to she had acquaintances, but I wouldn't say she had close close friends. Lucinda, although she was a curious kitten, and she was like I would say she was very much oh, what do they call them when they stay, you know, when you hibernate? Brain. I hate my brain sometimes. Like she would be closed off. So I mean I don't feel she could relate to females. I feel she related to males more, but in that day and age it was a different time stamp, you know? So if anything, she got on probably better with older people than herself, because they've had like experiences in life. Her age, I don't even know how old she was, but her age bracket would be like I don't feel they would get me. They don't get me. And it was just, I was very open to people. I was very open, but they didn't get me. I've got the star, but I'm looking at the star as like she was quite open to her, you know, to her like chatterbox by basically, you know. But they never got me. It just brought more confusion and disconnect in my relationships with friends, and I just felt it just didn't work. It just didn't work out. So I wasn't relating. I didn't relate to friends. You know, I had acquaintances, but I didn't relate. And I'm seeing like an older generation in my mind's eye. You know, take that as you will. So all this is all allegedly. You know, so I'm just reading the cards and that. I'm gonna do the yin and yang just to sort of like confirm the star card. Until death do her part, contracts, career, commitment. She was committed to something. She was committed elsewhere. I was open, and I was open to friendships and that, but I didn't find the like-minded people that I was hoping for. Yeah, I think her perspective on friendships was a little bit different to our day and age. I don't. That's the impression I'm getting anyway. Okay, so let's have a look at her family, her connection to her family. Page of Cups. I feel she was the youngest. Let me know if you know the history. That'd be interesting to know. I feel like she was the youngest. There was a lot of anxiousness around her family as well. Mum's energy is here. Okay, tell me more about the mum. There was conflict with mum. I think she was very much. People didn't get me. People didn't get. She was in a different. I suppose time walk. She was in a different time walk to everybody else. Yeah, I become an recluse. I come closed off towards my family too. But I just didn't feel fitted in. I feel she was the youngest. So I feel like there was other, um, and I'm getting, I don't know how to, I'm just gonna go with it. So I'm getting siblings, but there was a brother, wasn't there? I wonder if that's the old. I mean, was he an older brother? Because I see two siblings. I might be wrong, but I see two males. I got a male, two males age, and she was the youngest. She felt disconnected to her mother, but her mother didn't. She said, I had that conflict with my mum, but my mum didn't get me. So I think it was the old fashioned values back then and how it should be. And she was more of a curious person, you know? So I kind of pulled back and was isolated. So I feel Lucinda struggled with showing who she truly was because, and having that not feeling accepted. That's the impression I'm getting here. If I was in this day and age, it would be a different story. That's what I'm getting. Oh, that's weird. Go with it, innit? Gotta go with these things. All new. Okay. Right. Okay, so her love interest. So let's have a look at her relationship. I don't feel she wants to touch on that right now, but we'll just. Okay, I'll just pull a couple cards on it. Am I connecting to Lucinda? Is she coming through this reading? I'm getting tingles. 8 of Wands. I tell you what, she didn't. She could pull them. She had a real attraction about her. But I think it's because of her spiritual nature. She was in a different time zone to how women should have been back then. That's how I feel. Oh. Interesting. I had the King of Swords that came up previously before. they were like, it's like we would, our interpretation of is like buses. You don't get anything, and then all of a sudden, there's all buses. They come all at once, and that was Lucinda's story. She said they just, they were like moths to a flame at times, and I think, fair play to her though, because I feel like she did ground herself with that. So she did have like a level of emotional maturity as well, which makes me wonder, like, why it got to her, got to the point of like her saying she jumped off. I still don't believe that she did. From reading this aspect as well of like her high spiritual manner, how did it get to that point? But we'll start diving into that soon. Okay. So relationship wise, she was quite a fiery person. Like I said, it was like moths to a flame. She had that element of attraction. She did attract a lot of an older generation too. So they seen her as promiscuous um, at that point. And I'm not like, just have that. She had that promiscuous age. So she was like, I think it was the vibrant of her energy. Um, there was one particular woman in her life, not in a love affair, but I think she went to um, talking about her relationships as well. So I want to look into the Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. Sorry. Yeah, she went to her to get some insights around relationships. So again, I feel like she found sometimes the intention was it could be too much for her, and it wasn't what she wanted. She was looking for some, she wanted. Well, obviously, she was in love with this guy, apparently. So I feel like she did. She had a particular, an older person, female that she used to go to, and that was someone of sound advice. Because I feel like she was quite not fiery but feisty. She had that feistiness about her, like. So yeah, interesting, isn't it? Right. Okay, hidden desires and expressions, what they secretly yearned or struggled to express. Okay, so look. So, hidden desires and expressions. We kind of touched on that a little bit already. But yeah, she felt stuck. We're reverting back to the beginning now, right? So we've got the Page of Swords, minor setbacks and difficulties that that made her feel stuck and empty. Okay, and she was looking for resources. Okay, so her hidden desire was to escape. She didn't want to be in the environment that she was. She wanted. I think. I don't feel she was happy. And it is interesting to sort of like think, well, she's still there haunting the place, but why? Why is she still there when, she felt stuck in life? It's really a bizarre aspect. Six of Swords is like moving on. The Hangman, that stuck feeling. She struggled to see a perspective sometimes as well. But I feel like she felt stuck at that particular time, and she was looking for an escape. So her hidden, what she yearned for and what she struggled for was was where she was based at. That's how I feel. Her hidden desires was to escape. Her hidden desires was to leave. She didn't want to be. She didn't want to be where she was at. But there was nothing potentially she could do because there was problematic issues going on that was stopping her from doing what she wanted to do. So fears and negative thoughts and obstacles. So what was her fears? Fears that haunts them. So so fears that haunts them. I need to put another one. Interesting, we've got the freeze here. Third parties, maybe? Something that would come back around on her. She had some secrets. There were some secrets. And I see this as third parties. That she tried to heal from. That escapism. You know when you're going like with that escapism? This is the inner child. So her fears is around her experiences around her childhood and like third party aspects. So there was something crucially hidden that she didn't want others to know about as well. She wanted to keep that separate. Messages, look, messages in a bottle. Can you give me your emotions around the Three of Wands? Give me your emotions around the Three of Wands. Stubbornness. To me, that's like not facing things. Sorry. That's not facing things. That's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Don't want to hear it. Because look, she got her eyes closed and her ears blocked with the Three of Wands. Is it that was other people's opinions as well? She was worried about some. She was hiding something. I'm telling you, there was something hidden that that she preparation and arrangement. There was an arrangement that she didn't necessarily want to be shown. It created anxiety for her. On the outside, she was calm and collective, but internally, she struggled with it. So I'm not sure if this is to do with her childhood aspect or there was an element of some secrecy. But we did, I mean, when I looked into the reading previously, there was an element of like there was another man involved in King of Swords, you know, an older man. So was that what it was all about? And is that why she was looking for an escape at the time? Because I seen this person as possessive, you know, very possessive. Okay. Past wounds and unresolved issues for their life. This could be the key for their haunting. What unresolved issues that's come up, you know. Oops. Cards falling. So past wounds and unresolved issues and drama in their life. Right. So this could be the key catalyst of why they still haunt the grounds. We're back to the Eight of Cups, which was kind of at the beginning, wasn't it? She's there's unfinished business she's searching for here, that she's trying to gain clarity with. We're looking on the foundations here with the Six of Wands and the Four of Wands. This is to do with around her emotions. Sorry, you can see the cards there. This is to do with around her emotions and that an emotional fulfillment that she felt here, and that lost feeling that she felt. She's searching something on the grounds. So is that a love interest that she's searching for, or is it that she's trying to gain some clarity of what's happened? Can you give me the prospects of the Ace of Swords around the clarity of what she's looking for? Knight of Cups. She's looking to fix something. You know that he's not there now. Knight of Cups. Bless her. So this is to do with love. Tell me more about the Six of Wands and the Four of Wands of the foundations around surrounding it. Page of Pentacles. Child. I mean, the story goes that she was pregnant. They said that she was pregnant, allegedly. Things was not all what they seem. There was a change of hands. Lies was being told around that aspect. It was closer to home. We're going back into that story that was said. Something happened in the timeline that changed the dynamics here, because we've got the Wheel of Fortune that was out of her hands. I mean, well, what do you guys think? I still believe that she didn't jump. I don't feel she jumped. I think something happened. Well, it might have been an accident, you know, but something happened that was unexpected. I feel like she's looking for clarity. So to me, that would represent someone who, and didn't I have the Eight of Cups? I did have the Eight of Cups as well. Let me have a look at my, see if I can find my that's not it. Right, hold yours just a minute. I'm gonna go and look at my these. Okay, I've got another layer, which is my flashcards. So we've got the Eight of Cups. So let's have a look at the emotional side. So Right, sorry guys. Right, 8 of Cups. So Cups, a passenger to overwhelm, sadness, depression, emotional manipulation, heartbreak, addictions, or a secret related to a relationship. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but could relate to an emotional manipulation. It does say suicide influenced by deep emotion, pain, and betrayal, or a secret tie to love affairs and family emotional dynamics. And I felt that previously before. Let's have a look at the swords as a reference. Swords. A passenger to conflict, stress, and arguments. See, I think there is just a misformed surrounding the events, a battle that was lost. And then we're going to look, we went, so, and we've gone back to emotions again. There was there was something, some secret that was being held back, which I've said in my previous video. So I'm not going to go back into that. But these past wounds and stuff, it's like she's still searching for those answers. She's like, I feel it was an unexpected death. Maybe it was like, maybe she was threatening to, maybe there was someone else on that bridge at that night, or that particular daytime when she was there, and there was this debate, and maybe she threatened and she actually fought, or or it might not be necessarily a deliberate attempt, but to avoid any gossip or any like backlash on them, they kind of blamed it on, they kind of walked away and not told anyone, and kept it a secret for themselves. And I feel like her spirit can rest, because I don't feel like the potential, I'm getting like accident, or there was discussions going on. There was I don't feel she actually, she might have attempted, or threatened to do that, like for them to stay away from her, or on that depressional thing. But I feel it was like a sudden for her, because the Ace of Swords comes in as like, I need clarity of what happened. What's happened to me? I don't understand what's happened. So it again, we feel it's more, more in a home, like home place, okay. And we got the Page of Pentacles, which to me would represent maybe a child. So there possibly that she may, allegedly she may have been pregnant at the time. So this is where I feel her haunting is, that it was an unexpected death. So, and it kind of like it's shocked her into staying down on the earth plane, which is quite sad, very sad. That's how I would interpretate that. But what do you guys think? Right, okay. So what we're going to look into is section 3. So we're going to go a bit deeper into it. If you stuck around this length of time, thank you. Much appreciated. So I'm going to leave those cards and just push them to the side, because we have got still time on that. It is a long-winded one. I did say we're going to go into a deep dive. Right, the core message, the core mystery and message. So the core mystery of why they're still there and what unfinished business. So why are they still there? I think we've brushed upon what's the unfinished business. So it's around relationships. It's about relationships and harmonizing the relationships. I don't think she's self-aware of, like, although I feel she communicates and stuff, but I don't think she's fully self-aware what's happened to her. So if you're a medium, and you visit that and you do connect to listen to, maybe you can help her pass over, to the other side. Maybe you can give her some peace aspect, because I feel she needs that. Unfortunately, I can't do that. I'm not trained in that field. But if you're watching this and you ever go to that castle and you have that skill, please help her. Please help her to find that peace. It's like she's looking for reconciliation, and trying to find that peace and being recognized in those relationships. Okay, so she's seeking for contentment and happiness. So if you can bridge that gap and bring it together for her, so she can find that peace, I think that will make her very, very happy. She's searching for that element, and I think that would be a good approach for her. So I'm just putting that out there. Out there. That's how I feel. I've got the Three of Cups and the Six of Pentacles and the Sun. To me, the core, the unfinished business is I'm just trying to find my happiness. I'm just trying to find some reconciliation around my relationships so I can feel free again. Right? So that's, the core of the message. I would say that would be the core of the message, but okay, this just like, what can we do? The core message around their haunting. I think we've already touched on that, to be honest. Looking for balance. I feel like it was just such a shock to her and how it happened. But I feel she's confused with what happened to. She's seeking, there's a bit of element of justice needs to be done so she can break free from that chain. My heart goes out to her. If I could help her, I would. But I'm not trained in that field. But so like I said, if you can do that, then please, help her. Because I feel like this would, she can move on, and that's what we want, isn't it? We want to bring closure to to help them bring those closure, and that I think is the final message, really. If we look at the overall of what's happened and her story, and although there's confusion around that, I do not feel she attempted suicide. She may have threatened it out of desperation, but I feel she had too much feist in her life. There was other third parties involved. There was involvement. Where they were directly involved, meaning did they do it? I'm not seeing 100% sure. Although there was a bit of mysteriousness in my previous reading, but looking at the overall picture here, I don't think it was a deliberate intent. I think it was an accident. I think there was an accident, but allegedly, So this is just a tarot reading and stuff. Okay. So I think think we're done, guys. I think, you know, the clear message to me is if someone can help her and has the skill to help her, please do so. So she can have peace. So I'm gonna do a closing down prayer. I want to thank you for all that's joined me and stuck around. Thank you. So with deepest gratitude, I thank the divine of the profound messages and insights received today, particularly concerning the heart and soul of Lucinda. I hope I've said her name right. We are truly grateful for this guidance and understanding. As I now close this sacred space, I send forth healing and blessings to all. So thank you for joining. Keep an eye out. We're going to be looking into the witches' trials. I have done we done a dowsing with the ghost in box and stuff like that. So I've got that coming out pretty soon, and I'm gonna do a deep dive into that. I don't, because I did say that I was gonna do the other spirits in there, unless I get like a real something comes in my dreams or indications. So I'm going to put that out to spirit. I'm not really going to touch on that. I don't feel I need to. But if you want to see that, let me know, because I could, we could go quickly to sort of say who's haunting the grounds, if you want me to. But unless I'm getting sort of guided from spirit and stuff, I'm not, or you guys, I might not touch on that. But I am going to look into the witches' trials. I'm going to look into Alice Nutter. We're going to do a bit of a deep dive with her. We did do a dowsing session. I think I've already said all this, haven't I? I'm on repeat. Sorry, guys. Like a parrot. Anyway, keep an eye out. Playlist in the description box. Sending lots of love. Thank you for joining. And you take care, and I'll see you soon. See you on the other side. Much love.